더 웃긴다. 왜 안 들어가고 치기만 해.
Leave that creature outside.
뭐지?
Well, took you long enough.
오야야.
There's a lot of stairs.
To return the shoe, I mean. I lost it ages ago. You can put it down next to the other one.
오.
Much better. So neat and orderly. I suppose you'll be wanting some sort of reward now.
No,
All I've got is tea and candy.
But...
I'm sorry I called you a hooligan. I try not to jump to conclusions, but after all, 9 out of 10 people in this city are hooligans. It's a fact. Look it up.
불 안 켰어.
Have a seat, Sonny.
어디 앉으라고요?
Hey! You kids! Put out those cigarettes!
진짜 할 거 없나 보네. 뒤져봐야지. 사진. 아니 뭐 이렇게 신문지만 많아. 예, 좀 이따 얘기해보고. 사탕, 라디에이터, 신문지부터.
Don't touch those! My newspapers are in pristine condition and meticulously organized. Not about to let some street punk get jam all over them.
허, 까다로워. 고양이 밥그릇.
Oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Ms. Pretty Whiskers is very particular about who handles her food.
사서 건 거.
the candy looks older than I am.
너무 오래됐대.
Man, she keeps it hot in here.
That's the kettle. I'll be right back with some tea. And don't touch anything.
너무 빨리 됐는데? 야, 사진.
Jeez, they all look like they've got sticks up there.
What's that, dear?
Nothing.
야야, 빨리.
Jeez, they all look like they've got sticks up there.
What's that, dear?
아무것도 아니야. 아무것도
nothing.
아니야. 똑같은 거가. 신문지 봐야겠다 그럼. 신문지.
Juveniles collide with manure truck. Nice picture.
그게 끝이야?
Brown mansion destroyed.
일단
1962. No, that's not where Doc's stranded. I don't even know where to start looking for clues in these stacks. Wish I could narrow it down to a year at least.
한 번 더 해봐.
Firm announces plans for Lone Pine Mall. Peabody Ranch to be rezoned for commercial development.
이것도
I don't
아니잖아.
even know where to start looking for clues in these stacks. Wish I could narrow it down to a year at least.
Yeah, that's peculiar. The water still hasn't come to a boil.
잠깐만, 그러면 신발.
Einstein brought me that shoe from the past. But when in the past?
물어봐야죠. 저 신발 언제 잃어먹었는지. 고양이.
What are these?
My editorial trophies.
Cat Lovers Quarterly.
It's legitimate journalism.
말을 걸기 전에 미리 사전에 그 정보도를 얻어놔야죠. 바깥으로 나가기 아직 아니죠. 박사님이 흔적을 못 구했네. 일단 주반장으로.
Miss Strickland, about your tea. You forgot to turn on the...
It's spelled with a U! You illiterate
왜 이렇게
vandal!
못됐어. 안 들어가네? 자, 말 걸어봐야죠 이제 그럼.
Miss Strickland?
Jack! Diane! I know what you're doing behind that tree!
이거 야 사생활 침해권이야 그거.
Yes.
일단은 말을 살짝 돌려줘.
Doing some stargazing?
No, I set my sights on the lower things. Is that?
또
Tim Tannen! Get away from that hubcap before I call your father!
무섭다 무서워. 신발을.
Do you remember when you lost your shoe?
Shoe?
That shoe over there.
Oh, that shoe! Huh. Aye, what a nosy Nelly! No one likes a busybody, you know.
But
Oh, fine, let me think about it. Yes, I remember. I lost it in a scuffle with a dog. Oh, when was it? Oh, yes, the day that speakeasy burned down.
a speakeasy in Hill Valley?
Don't act so surprised, young man. Your generation doesn't hold a copyright on moral depravity, you know. Sin has been on the prowl in Hill Valley
뭔가 나올
since
것
the
같아.
day it was founded.
이걸
Wow, a
올려봐야지.
speakeasy. That must have been wild. Is it true they used to drink gin out of slippers like my grandma said?
Don't romanticize the past, young man. Prohibition was a time when gangsters ruled the town while honest citizens quaked in their beds.
그치, 무서운 시대지.
What's with all these newspapers?
말 살짝
This is
돌리게.
my personal archive. I've got every issue of the Hill Valley Telegraph ever published.
Get out.
Oh.
Every single issue?
From 1871 to the present. If it happened in Hill Valley, you'll find it in my stacks.
와, 얼마나 100년 이상을 살았네. 둘 중에 어떤 게 더 있나? 야,
I guess somewhere in these stacks there must be an article about the speakeasy burning down.
Naturally. Yeah, I probably wrote it myself.
아, 내가
I
쓴
was
것도?
quite a reporter back in the
오,
day.
작가였어.
Any idea
기자.
what date that article came out?
Well, obviously the day after the speakeasy burned down.
오, 좋았어.
So where was it? That speakeasy that burned down, I mean.
That was ages ago. If you're looking for bootleg hooch.
No, I'm just curious, that's all. I'm a student of history.
Student of history, my Aunt Fanny. Yeah, your generation of hooligans and slackers could give two ripe figs about
Oh,
history.
Miss Strickland?
Oh, video store!
Huh?
The speakeasy used to be hidden in plain sight down there in the town square, right where that disgusting videotape rental store
Ah.
squats today.
저기구나.
So the video store building must have gone up after the speakeasy burned down.
The following year, as I recall.
아,
I guess somewhere in these stacks there must be an article about the speakeasy burning down.
Naturally. Yeah, I probably wrote
아,
it
이거
my...
똑같은 말
Any
하네.
idea?
Well,
아, 나가야겠다 이제
Don't
그럼.
let me keep you from your business.
야!
you there! Don't
바닥에
even
휘저버리지 말고
think
가.
about touch!
진짜 말 많다.
I told...
아하, 알았어. 잠깐만, 한 번 더 하면 내 쫓으려나?
I told you not to touch those!
알았어요. 이거 한 번 더 할 수 있을 것 같은데? 기다려봐. 살짝 나갔다 옵시다.
Would you mind if I stepped out for a minute? I just remembered a video I've got to return.
Do you have to go? I get so few visitors these days.
But-
And I'd hate to have to tell my brother, your vice principal in charge of discipline,
Oh, yeah.
how rude you were to
지금 나가면 안
me.
될 것 같은데?
Especially with graduation coming up and all.
야, 지금 나가면 안 될 것 같아. 아, 다행이다. 어쩔 수 없네. 라디에이터를 한 번 더 틀어야지.
There's the whistle! Surely the water's boiling by now.
아유. 빨리 뒤져.
Clint Eastwood plunges to death on runaway train.
아니잖아.
Alright, Einstein brought me this shoe, and Miss Strickland lost the shoe on the day the speakeasy burned down. But when did the speakeasy burn down? I at least
그게
need to
문제다.
know the year.
아, 연도를 아직 모르네?
October 28th, 1985. Authorities still mystified by mall shootout. I don't even know where to start looking for clues in these stacks. Wish I could narrow it down to a year at least.
아, 이걸 어떻게 찾지? 쌍경.
Hey, mind if I use your binoculars for a sec?
Go ahead, dear.
오, 다행이다, 다행이다. 쟤 저기 왜 있어? 아, 있다.
Rebuilt in February 1932. So the fire must have happened before then. But when?
아,
I need a date.
Don't look at me. I'm far too old for you.
별로 그렇게 보고 싶진 않은데. 아, 날짜를 알았으니까.
Excuse me, Miss Strickland? So the video store building must have gone up after the speakeasy burned down.
The following year, as I recall.
I guess somewhere in these stacks there must be an article about the speakeasy burning down.
Naturally. Yeah,
Any idea what date?
what?
아, 아니 잠깐만. 너무
I guess
빨랐다.
somewhere.
Naturally.
Any idea what date that article came out?
Well, obviously the day after the speakeasy burned down.
아,
Don't let me keep you from your.
잠깐만. 93월 5월 달이고 거기 이제 더 자세한 내용이 없는데 어떡하지?
Is that Vice Principal Strickland?
Mother never could keep little Gerald out of her clothes.
아, 그걸 어떻게 찾지 근데?
Marshall Strickland.
My grandfather, gunned down by Mad Dog Tannen over 100 years ago.
That's not how I remember it.
어디 보자. 다시. 불안치는 거지.
There's the whistle. Surely the water's boiling by now.
아마도요. 열길 바래야지. 아, 빨리 찾아야 되는데.
Let's see. Ground broken on site of former speakeasy. Singer vanishes. Hill Valley Expo delights crowd. Soup kitchen exposed. Here we go. Speakeasy arsonist slain. Legal procedure gave way to old-fashioned vengeance last night when a mob descended on the Hill Valley police station.
그런
The
거 말고.
suspect in the speakeasy arson case, a drifter known as Carl Sagan, was pulled from his... Carl Sagan? It's Doc!
헐.
Killed by a mob. What's the date? June 14th, 1931. Jeez, I gotta rescue him.
My newspapers!
Sorry, Miss Strickland. Let me...
No! You've gotten my history out of
아이고.
order. Oh, do you know how long it'll take to fix what you've done?
도와드릴게요.
Now, get out! Get out! Get out!
야!
Help! Police! I'm being attacked by hooligans!
왜 이렇게 까칠해? 옷이 바뀌었네.
Marty! Where you been, son? And what are you doing in that getup?
아, 학교 연극.
Didn't I tell you? I got the lead in the school play. We're doing...
Grapes of Wrath?
Right.
Oh, Steinbeck! Who are you playing? Never mind, you don't have to explain. I'm sure whatever it is you're up to, you know what you're doing, right?
I hope so.
Hey,
말해야죠.
sometimes you gotta go out on a limb for the ones you love, right? Wish my dad had understood that. You won't stay away too long.
You'll barely know I was gone. You ready to go, Einstein?
잠깐만, 6월 13일이었죠.
Time
그리고-
circuits? On. Flux capacitor? Fluxy.
자, 다음 시간.
Okay, if Doc's gonna get killed on June 14th, 1931, I'll just show up the day before and get him out. I hope you know what you're doing, Doc.
라스데이가 오는 힐밸리 88마일까지 달려야 돼요. A24에 힐밸리 차 완전 죽인데? 우와 마피아 대박. 우와 우와 이 차 너무 현대식이잖아. 그 당시 때 안 어울린 차잖아. 아 여기다 숙이려고 똑똑한데. 이거 어떻게 걸어가냐 2마일을. 한 시간 정도는 걸어야겠네.
Einstein, where'd you go now, boy?
법정이 이렇게 바뀌었네. 걔 어디 갔어? 박사님 어떻게 찾아? 뭐지 이거는? 오,
Young
젊었을
man,
때는
excuse me, young man.
Who? Me?
You're the only man in the street, and I'm looking for a man in the street reaction. Naturally, you know about the explosion that destroyed this illegal gin establishment.
I read about it, yeah.
What's your opinion of Carl Sagan, the stranger who single-handedly did what the law has been unable to do for 10 long years, namely, rid Hill Valley of the scourge of liquor?
저기 계시구나. 야 이거 재밌는데? 박사님은
How'd
아세요?
Doc get himself into...
Doc?
Doc is his nickname. I'm good friends with Carl.
You are? Really? Oh, but I need an unbiased opinion for my story. Pretend you don't know him. How would you feel about his heroic act of destruction?
아... 어떻게 해야 되나?
You
지지합니다.
can mark me down as a supporter.
The young man said, flashing a boyish yet virile grin. Hill Valley needs more upstanding youths like yourself. Do you have a message for the vicious gangsters who still roam these streets, no doubt plotting to corrupt our citizens with another den of booze, sin, and debauchery?
Ask him where I can get the address.
Ah, I see. Because you want to blast it to smithereens just like Carl Sagan did. With public-spirited citizens like you around, the lawless element will be on the run in no time. Mr. May I get your name?
Yeah, it's...
아... 이름 어떻게 해야 되지? 아, 헨리... 내 이름을 쓰면 안 될 것 같고요. 마이... 헨리.
Harry Callahan.
Thank you for sharing your candid opinions, Mr. Callahan. Edna Strickland, Hill Valley Herald.
I know. I met you back. I mean, I'm familiar with your work.
You read my column? How sweet. I know it's just an etiquette column, but I believe it'll lead to bigger and better... Oh!
오, 젊었어.
Einstein, no. Down, boy.
Is this wretched creature yours? He assaulted me once before.
What's got into you?
Aggressive dogs must be kept on leash at all times. It's the law. Look it up.
Doc. I gotta find Doc.
폴스테이션 가봐야지 되지. 이발소문. 들어갈 수 있어.
Hey, can I get some moose?
What does this look like? A hunting lodge?
헐, 바로 내쫓기는데? 자, 돌아다녀 봅시다. 여기겠다. 연수교.
I'm not so sure I want to stay in a place that welcomes transients.
왜? 일단 가봅시다.
You gonna buy anything?
아니요,
no.
물어봤는데요.
Get out!
왜 이렇게 매정해? 뭐지? 오케이.
I guess this is where the speakeasy burned down. How'd Doc ever get mixed up in that?
간단하지 뭐. 섞다가 그냥 말린 거지. 네, 들어가봅시다.
Gale, Zemeckis, and Fine. Attorneys at law. No solicitors.
아닌가? 은행문. 아빠 있을 것 같은데?
How can I help you, sir?
Without any money, I don't really have any business in there.
그냥 들어가 보고 싶었어. 자동차 클릭 안 되고, 이것도 안 되고, 여기도 안 되고. 왜 못 가? 왜 못 가? 스포기쇼. 작동된다. 야, 무슨 얼굴만 해.
McFly!
Biff?
Kid!
Grandpa?
That's Mr. Tannen to you, Artie. What are you doing out here?
Well, I was getting kind of hungry, so I figured I'd come down here for some free soup.
Just thought I'd come down for some soup. Think, McFly. The DA's throwing around subpoenas like Babe Ruth.
I don't think Ruth's a pitcher anymore.
Shut it. If one of those subpoenas landed in the hands of my number cruncher, I'd be in a whole lot of trouble. I could even get sent up the river. You wouldn't want that, would you? Would you?
No, of course not, kid.
All right. That's better. What are you looking at, punk? Keep your eyes on the soup, kid. Well?
Well, what?
What are you still doing here?
Sorry, kid. I'll just run back to the safe house.
You do that. And McFly,
Yes?
that hat's too flashy. You better let me hold on to it. Now scram!
You got it, boss.
And don't come out until I give you the all clear. I swear, if even one of you mooks could add 2 + 2 without your fingers, I'd dump that wimp into the lake. Hey! Anyway, I'm off to make myself irresistible. Don't let anyone burn down the shop while I'm gone.
전화기다. 테이블. 아니. 전화기. 남자다.
Maybe I should go to the jail and talk to Doc before I start dialing random people in 1931.
남자랑 얘기해.
I better not
그 사람
talk to
얘기를
him.
해볼 거야.
I don't want to mess up his timeline.
그렇게 많아. 공짜 스프나 먹을까? 이 스프가 있었던 것 같아요. 카운트.
The kitchen's for management only, rummy.
Whoa!
오 무서워. 물어봐야지.
Okay. Hey, never mind.
아 뭐야 이렇게 씨. 당구발은 뭐야? 신경 안 써.
Okay. Hey,
에이. 당구가 주방문. 총 맞을 것 같은데? 빵.
there's no way I'm gonna keep that door open without some help.
아, 이건 뭐야? 지금까지 아, 오케이. 힌트. 아, 인벤토리. 쓸만한 거를. 아, 야, 어렵다. 여기 좀 이따가 올 수 있을 것 같아요. 깜빵을 갔다 오면 이제 될 것 같은 느낌. 야, 이거 가봐. 야, 이 마우스 클릭이 좀 잘 안 되네. 오케이. 감옥 가기. 철장.